Okay, good morning guys. Quick lecture video lang about EFE and IFE Matrix since our the first topic for finals is the IE Matrix. The following video that I will send you guys as well. So, let's go, no? EFE and IFE Matrix. Tapos na tayo sa pag-identify um, ng opportunities and threats, diba? Tapos na tayo sa pag-identify ng um, factors natin sa sa macro environment or yung societal environment natin with the use of STEEP analysis, our task environment, wherein we have to use Porter's 5 forces, and then sa ating internal environment within our company, identifying our capabilities and turning it into competencies, and then evaluating those strengths and weaknesses or yung ating competencies with the use of the VRIO framework. So, with that being said, we are also very familiar with how SWOT analysis works. And right now, we are going to do the EFE and IFE matrix. This is one of the first few steps that we have to make para tayo ay makapag-implement, para tayo ay makapag-formulate ng strategies ng mas maayos when we come to phase 2 of Strama. So, punta tayo ngayon sa EFE and IFE matrix. Very very simple. The objective of this matrix is for us to identify how the company will respond to certain factors, how important it is, how important kung gaano ka-importante ang different factors na i-identify natin as strengths, weakness, opportunities, or threats sa ating kumpanya, at kung paano tayo magre-respond sa ganung klaseng opportunities or threats or strengths and weakness. So, external factor evaluation matrix. Yan nga, sabi ko, tool used to evaluate the existing opportunities and threats around the company. Yun nga, kung paano natin haharapin yung ating opportunities and threats. We will evaluate this, no? Kung ano yung advantageous for us and kung ano yung disadvantageous for us. Ano yung mga importante at kailangan natin i-exploit at ano yung mga bagay na kailangan natin iwasan. So the factors here in this EFE matrix came from the results of the STEEP analysis and Porter's 5 forces analysis, since these are these analysis are done for our external environment. So, ayan, may steps naman dito on how to build an EFE matrix, no? Pero diretso na ako dito sa ating table. Dito na ako mag-explain ng step-by-step process natin when it comes to EFE matrix. So, first nga, tulad nga ng sabi natin, we have to identify if whether or not ano yung mga opportunities and threats natin sa ating kumpanya. So, the first column here, dito nakalagay ang ating mga opportunities and threats. Ito yung mga key factors na tinatawag natin. These key factors are the results of our STEEP analysis and Porter's 5 forces, no? When we identified our opportunities and threats. So once we identify the opportunities and threats, pipiliin natin ngayon doon kung ano yung mga key factors na tingin natin makakapag-contribute ng malaki o makaka-apekto ng malaki para sa ating kumpanya. So, yun yung first column natin. Dito nakalagay yung key factors natin, our opportunities and threats. Next, punta tayo ngayon sa column number 2. Ito actually step 2 natin sa column number 2, wherein we have to assign a weight to each factor. What do we say about weight value? When we say weight value, ito na yung Ito na yung sa perspective ng business owners. Ito na sa perspective nyo, di ba, as students. Tingin ninyo gaano kalaki ang magiging epekto ng industry consolidation sa inyong company? Tingin ninyo gaano kalaki ang magiging epekto ng increase in air travel in Mexico sa inyong company? Tingin mo gaano kalaki ang magiging epekto ng new security tax sa ating company? That is how you do weight values. You will think, no, gaano nga ba kalaki yung may epekto na to sa aking kumpanya? In this scenario, in this example, industry consolidation was weighted 11% out of 100%. Tatandaan ninyo, the weight total of these columns should be 1.00 or 100%. When we say 1.00, para rin siyang 100% in some ways. Ito siya, yung 1.00 kasi yung converted na decimal value ng 100%. So, let's say for example, this 11%, this can also be weighted as 0.11 and 0.112 for 12%, 0.1 for 10%, 0.08 for 8%, and 0.16 for the 16%. Tingnan natin kung this will all add up to 1, ha? Again, 0.1, 0.05, 0.08. Hindi ko na pala na ano. Okay, let's continue. Tignan natin if all of this will add up to 1. 0.11 plus 0.12 plus 0.1, 0.08, 0.16, 0.1, 0.05, 0.08, 0.05, 0.15. 1 or 1.00. So, ganun lang siya, no? You can either put here percentage with a total of 100%. You can also put it here like this, like the decimal points, para maging equal siya to 1.00. So, the weight that you put into factor signifies the importance and relevance of the factor to the organization. So, kung gaano kalaki yung importansya, kung gaano kalaki ang magiging epekto ng each opportunities or threats sa ating company, that is how we will rate the weight value. And again, this will all come from the perspective of the business owner or for you as the students. Now that we identified how important these factors are, we are going to the next column, which is yung rating natin. We give rating to each factor from 1 to 4. The rating represents how well the organization is responding or can respond to the external factor. So, sa rating natin, ibig sabihin, dito lalabas kung gaano kagaling or how well the organization is currently responding to that key factor. Kung we will rate it 1 if the organization is not responding well, and we will rate it 4, ibig sabihin nun maganda ang pag-respond doon sa ganong klaseng factor or has the ability to respond to the factor very well. So in this scenario, lumalabas na industry consolidation is an important key factor for the business, standing at 11%. At tandaan nyo, no, these are all 10, no? 10 opportunities, 5 opportunities and 5 threats. Total of 10 key factors, and ibig sabihin ng average weight value ng each key factor is 10%. Since we have to have a total of 100, tama? ang average weight value niya is 10%, given that we have 100% total and we have 10 key factors identified. Ngayon, 11% means merong certain importance yung industry consolidation kasi lagpas siya ng 10. Compared with government oversight, which is only 5%, relatively low doon sa average weight value natin. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya ganoon ka-important sa ating business. Pero economic downturn is 15%, which means it's up by 5% dun sa average weight value natin. 15% siya. Mas mataas. Ibig sabihin, mataas ang importance or mataas ang significance ng economic downturn sa ating business. And, however, sa rating, it's only 1. Ibig sabihin, hindi ganon kaganda ang response ng ating company when it comes to the economic downturn. And this is huge, no? This is very big. Kasi, we rated it 15%. It means it's very important. It means it will really affect us as a business. And how well we respond to that key factor is only 1. So, ibig sabihin, hindi maganda ang pag-respond natin dito sa key factor na ito. Compared with this key factor, no, increased demand in China. Increased demand in China. We graded the weight value 16%. Siya yung may pinakamataas na weight value sa lahat. Ibig sabihin, siya yung pinaka-importanting key factor sa lahat. And we rated it 3. Ibig sabihin, maganda ang ating response dito sa opportunity na to. It's either we are taking advantage of it through meeting the demand with our supply, or ayun nga, na-take advantage natin due to other things, no? Like maybe getting feedback or maybe getting some relevant data for marketing purposes. And then, after that, we have to multiply the weight value to the rating for each factor and put the results in column number 4. Kaya ngayon very much recommended din sa mga students and sa business perspective na ganito ang gagawin natin. Naka-decimal point siya. Kasi i-convert din natin siya lahat sa decimal values nila dahil nga magkakaroon tayo ng pag-multiply. So, 11% times 4 is equal to 0.44. Tingnan natin. 11% is 0.11. Tandaan, diba? Moving 2 decimal points to the left if we will convert it into decimal. And then, 0.11 times the weight value is 4. So, that should be 0.44. Try natin sa iba. 0.12 times, nandito na tayo sa second weight value. Weight value for increase in air travel in Mexico. 0.12 times 3, that is 0.36. Try natin sa next. Privatization in CE countries. Let's move the decimal point from here to the left. That's 1, 2. So, meaning 0.1 or 0.10, ganyan. Times 2. 0.20 or 0.20. So, ganun po yung pag-come up natin ng weighted scores natin. And then, we will just add everything up and we will have a total weighted score, yung 2.46, which will be used for our IE matrix. Same thing goes with our internal IFE, yung ating internal factor evaluation matrix. Ganun lang din siya, ladies and gentlemen. Ganun lang din siya. Mag-identify ka lang din ng strengths, ng weaknesses mo. And then you will assign weight value with a total of 100% or 1. Nakalagay pa rin dyan. We will give rating from each key factors. Dito naman sa pagdating sa strengths and weaknesses natin, ang pag-assign ng weight value natin is uh, important ba itong strength or weakness na ito sa success ng company natin? The weight you assign will show how important the internal factor is to the success of the firm in the industry. Ibig sabihin nito, ang largest manufacturer in the market ba, this being our strength, mataas ba ang weight value niya o mataas ba ang contribution niya para sa success ng company natin? Itong good reputation and image ba? Maganda ba yung strength para makapag-contribute sa success ng company natin? So, ganun po ang pag-assign ng weight value dito sa each key factor. And again, this will all be up to you as the business owner or as the student. And then, in the ratings naman, see a simple rating. You will rate it 1 or 2 if it is a 1 or 2 for the weaknesses and 3 or 4 to the strengths. So meron siyang naka-assign na mga value na in each, no. Pag weakness, it's either 1 or 2 lang. Pag strengths naman yan, it's either 3 or 4. 1 is the least, no, the major weakness, and 2 if it is a minor weakness. 3 if the factor is a minor strength, and 4 if it is a major strength. Tapos, lahat ng iyan, after assigning each rates, and after assigning each weight value, and after rating each key factors, i-multiply din natin siya with the weighted score. Tingnan natin na maayos kung tama ba to. So that is 0.1 times 4, lalabas na 0.40 or 0.4. Next, 0.12 times 4, 0.48. Sige, lastly, for good measure, 0.04 times 3, 0.12. So, ganun po yung paggawa ng EFE and IFE matrix natin. First, we have to identify the key factors, the opportunities and threats, and the strengths and weaknesses within our company. Next, we will assign weight values. Ang weight value, ang pag-assign ng weight value sa EFE, sa external, is how relevant the key factor is to the organization. Gaano siya ka-importante, and if it is affecting our company, how it affects our company. Again, this will all be rated based on your own perspective as the business owner. But the most important thing here is dapat all of the weight values will be equal to 100% or 1.00. Depende kung ano yung gagamitin ninyo. Ang pag-rate naman ng weight value sa internal natin, sa strengths and weakness, is if this key factor contributes for the success of our company. If it brings us closer to success. That is how we will rate the weight value here in the internal matrix. Next is the rating. We will rate it 1 to 4 lang ang rating natin dito. 1 being the lowest and 4 being the highest. In EFE matrix, in external, we will rate the key factors based on how our company is responding to that key factor. If it is responding well, we will grade it 4, mataas ang grade niya. If our company doesn't really respond well to these opportunities and threats, we will rate it low or 1 or 2 yan. Sa pag-rate naman ng ating ng key factors natin sa ating internal, sa strengths and weakness, iba naman siya. 1 or 2 is rating for weaknesses. 3 and 4 is a rating for the strengths. We will rate our strengths 3 or 4, depending if it is a minor strength or major strength. We will rate our weaknesses 1 or 2, based if it is a major weakness or a minor weakness. And then we will multiply everything, weight value times rating, to get the weighted score, Same thing here. And then add everything up, and you will get your total weighted score. And then the total weighted score will then be used for our IE matrix. So, pakitingnan na lang po yung continuation na tong video discussion na ito dun sa isasend ko pang isang link. And then, para mas maintindihan ninyo yung EFE, IFE matrix, and then the IE matrix as well. So, yun lang. Good luck to everyone sa finals nila. And thank you for listening. Bye, guys.